Welcome to Morrisville Presbyterian Church, and welcome to this recital to raise awareness about issues of rent relief and evictions in our commonwealth and country. We especially welcome Brit Montoro to our organ. I have known Brit for several years now, and I am delighted that they initiated this recital. Brit holds degrees from Lynchburg College and Westminster Choir College, and is an accomplished accompanist, singer, and conductor, as well as a superb organist. We will be accepting donations for our COVID-19 Relief Fund, which continues to help those affected by COVID-19 as the needs created by this virus changes month to month. If you would like, you can donate through a check in the mail to Morrisville Presbyterian Church, 771 North Pennsylvania Avenue, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, 19067, putting COVID-19 Relief Fund in the memo line. Or you may give through the church's online giving portal, designated COVID-19 Relief Fund, in the notes section. Again, welcome, and I give you Brit Montoro.
Gerald Neer is a living composer known for his commissioned works for the American Guild of Organists and his repertory of choral and organ music, especially music based on chant and hymnody. He studied music theory and composition at the American Conservatory in Chicago and studied organ, choral conducting, and orchestral conducting at University of Michigan. Neer studied with famed organist Leo Sowerby, who is known as the Dean of American Church Music in the mid-20th century. Neer's "Now Thank We All Our God, and Unto Us Is Born" paints the majesty of God's infinite creation and the joy of Christ's birth as exuberant and whimsical. The harmonic twists and turns in both tunes are delightful for the listener and a challenge for the organist. These pieces, while full of majesty and beauty, remind us of the manifestation of God and Christ in our midst in this modern pandemic world. Liturgically leaving Christmas and entering briefly into ordinary time, it is important we keep the spirit of Christ's generosity to the world and solidarity with others suffering at the forefront of our ministries at all times, knowing that even playing organ in God's house of worship that we work towards the stability of housing for our whole community. Felix Mendelssohn, a German composer of the early Romantic era, was a prolific writer of instrumental and choral music. He was best known to me, and among musicians who remember their music history classes in school, the conductor who resurrected J.S. Bach's music from the grave in the first performance of St. Matthew's Passion since Bach's passing in the early 1800s. Mendelssohn understood struggle in his life, particularly as a Jewish man, and conflict with his place in society and music because of his ethnic and religious identity. According to Jeffrey Sposato, writer of The Price of Assimilation, he converted to Lutheranism to avoid anti-Semitic persecution, and long after his passing in Nazi Germany, his music was forbidden to be played. Now we can enjoy his symphonies, oratorios, and organ sonatas. All of us can enjoy them together. I'll be playing extracts from Sonata 5 and then the Allegro Maestoso from Sonata 2. I hope you enjoy. Marcel Dupré was a French organist and composer of the late 1800s into the mid-1900s. Dupré belonged to a lineage of musicians from the French organ tradition, including Charles-Marie Widor and Louis Vierne, both of whom were his teachers. Dupré is best known for his pedagogy of organ playing, teaching the late great American concertizer and personality Virgil Fox. Dupré struggled as both a student and teacher. Organ scholar Rollin Smith asserts that while he was an assistant to Vierne, he promoted himself as the organist of Notre Dame when giving concerts in America, much to Vierne's chagrin, who was the titular organist at the time. I discovered in my musicology class in graduate school at Westminster, while researching Virgil Fox's relationship with Dupré, that Fox was an unconventional student and one who wanted to learn and interpret music in his own way as a performer and had disagreements with Dupré's methods, even if Dupré was an effective teacher. In these pieces from the 79 chorales, organ works dedicated to the benefit of students and teachers, I want us to think about the many struggles students and teachers are facing today and lift up intentions for their safety and needs during this time. For Christ is the light of the world. We are glad the old year has passed away, and may we be able to walk and live in quiet joy. Johann Sebastian Bach was a prolific composer of the Baroque period, encompassing the 1600s into the mid-1700s. An active church musician, dedicated parent, and fierce advocate for the musicians in his employ, Bach represented a community musician who cared for the needs of those around him. Like any church musician now, he urged clergy and staff about his budget needs and making sure those working for him had job security. It is undeniable even now during a pandemic that music ministry everywhere is vital and required, and it is most certainly not a frill, but a necessity for our well-being. And I say a prayer for every musician who has been directly impacted by the loss of regular music making as a result of the situation now. Bach's "My Heart is Filled with Longing" is an organ chorale prelude, or meditative extemporaneous composition based on a well-known hymn tune. The hymn tune you might recognize as "O sacred head now wounded with crown of piercing thorn," which is often sung during Holy Week liturgies as the height of the church year. As we are but a week and a half away from Ash Wednesday, let us work to be humble and dedicated to our calling, to serve one another, and to remember to continue compassionate work for others in the context of Christ's passion. Florence Price deserves a place in every classically trained musician's repertoire and a performance in every concert hall. A high school valedictorian in Little Rock, Arkansas, a graduate of New England Conservatory with a double major in organ and piano performance, and an avid composer. She went on to be the first Black woman to have her work performed by the Symphony in Chicago in 1933. Price won the Wanamaker competition in 1932 for her Symphony No. 1 in E minor. I've had the privilege of learning her organ work and her art songs over the past year, and am delighted to share with you her adoration for organ. Price was not without struggle as a Black woman. She faced oppression in the field of white-dominated and white-centered classical music in the form of misogynoir, an intersection between racism and sexism, specifically affecting Black women and non-men. When upon return to her segregated hometown of Little Rock, the White Arkansas Music Teachers Association denied her membership, and she started the Little Rock Club of Musicians for aspiring musicians in the segregated Black schools before she moved to Chicago to continue her music career. Black History Month is 1 month out of Black History Year, and Black history is American history, which is music history. I hope you will enjoy Adoration by Florence Price. there is not much to say about myself that is not already in my bio. The thing I wish to share with you is a form of creative composition known as improvisation. I wanted to do something special just for the congregants at Morrisville Presbyterian and improvise on hymn tunes that are favorites of your clergy and staff. Tim Carpenter mentioned to me, "Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing," Asmon is one of Reverend Rachel Rhodes' that she selects often for liturgies. Reverend Alex Abdallah told me that he liked Canticle of the Turning, a hymn tune Kingsfold, I heard the voice of Jesus say, also known as the Irish tune County Down. And Tim mentioned that he liked the Welsh tunes, so I selected Ar Hidi Nos for the fruit of all creation. I will combine these hymn tunes together and weave them together on the spot, and I hope you enjoy. I conclude my program with two hymn flourishes by Desiree Hines. Desiree Hines is a Black transgender woman, church musician, and LGBTQ advocate in Philadelphia. She was the resident organist at the Traverse Arts Project and organizer of the GLBT Arts Festival in 2009. She accompanied on the organ to silent films like Nosferatu and was the who's who of the Philly gay community. Hines passed away young due to her struggle with neuroendocrine cancer. She was full of life and passion for church music in her position at Grace and Holy Trinity Church in Kansas City, Missouri, and shared her masterful organ playing on YouTube, where I had the fortune of learning about her and meeting her as an aspiring organist and church musician. Her hymn flourishes should be at the ready of every organist's bookshelf, and they are dazzling to behold. Thank you for having me here to share the joy of music with you today. Please be safe, be well, and always keep Christ in your heart. Keep God in your midst and bring Christ to others, whatever way that looks like, especially in our community, especially for our tenants and residents here in Morrisville. Thank you.